It's the beginning of June 2016, so as usual, I'm going to do an update video. I want to talk about what went on during the month of May and what we've got coming up during this very busy month of June. A lot of stuff packed in there. As always, I like to begin by talking about three big things that I want to highlight to bring to your attention. So the first one of those is a class, an online class on Platos Symposium. It's our second class that we're offering with Reason.io. I'm very excited about this. It's enrolling now and begins on June 19th and runs into mid-July. The second really big thing, and I think if you're in the Milwaukee area or in the Fox cities in Wisconsin or even in the greater Chicago area, you're probably going to want to come to this because it's going to be a pretty big event. We're partnering with the Whitefish Bay Library to offer a lecture and a tasting in which I'm going to talk about the 8, and that's 8, not 4, not 5, 8 basic tastes of food that we find discussed in the Aristotelian tradition and then running all the way into early modernity. Like I said, we're going to be doing a tasting as well as a lecture and Q&A, so it's going to be quite a cool event. The third thing is even bigger. So Stoicon is an annual conference in which the members of the Stoicism Today project and a lot of other big academics come in and give workshops, give talks about Stoicism and its applicability to modern life. I'm going to be presenting at Stoicon, and I'll talk more about that later. But what I want to bring to your attention is in October, when Stoicon is going to run, I'm going to drive from here in Milwaukee out to New York City and back over the course of 2 weeks. This is our very first attempt to have a circuit speaking tour, an old-fashioned circuit tour. So I've already lined up a few events along the way, but most of our calendar is open. So I'll talk more about that, but keep that in the back of your mind. If you're interested, if you're along the way and you're interested in having me come speak during those 2 weeks, contact me, Greg at Reason.io, and we'll get talking about that because the calendar is going to fill up fairly quickly. All right, let's talk about the month of May. I had 3 different events occur during the month of May, one of them online and 2 of them at local libraries here. The one that was online was my monthly half-hour Hegel Q&A session that I hold every month. It's sort of a thank you for the generosity of my Patreon supporters and something for the general public. I continued our quarterly series partnering with the Frank Weinberg Library on philosophers in the midst of history. The first one we did on Aristotle. This one was on St. Anselm, so it was a medieval one, the Normans, and the Catholic Church. So a lot of cool stuff. I've got the video linked to in the description below, so you can take a look at that. We continued the monthly speculative fiction and philosophy series, this time focusing on Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy and a little bit beyond that into some of the other books. So that was a really great conversation that we had there. Again, videos linked to. What else went on during May? Well, we started our first ever online course being offered under the auspices of Reason.io. No longer with any traditional colleges or universities, no longer with these other academic startups, just us. And we got a really great response. We have a number of students enrolled in the class. The class is actually still going on because it's being done in a 6-week version. I front-loaded an awful lot of material at the beginning, so I think next time I teach it, it may be an 8-week version, so students have a bit more time to work through this. But it has been an amazing experience. There's nothing like actually, after you've been taking sort of marching orders from other people, doing something on your own. When I say on my own, I don't mean totally on my own. My wife, Andy Shaka, has been absolutely invaluable in helping me to organize everything and doing all the back end work. But that was a big thing that we did over the course of this last month. We also, in the Stoicism Today project, have been doing a lot of back-end work, getting ready for Stoicon, getting ready for the Stoic Mindfulness and Resiliency Training course that Donald Robertson is offering, and getting ready for Stoic Week 2016. So I'll talk more about the Stoic stuff in the June section because I'm really excited about that. I also did quite a bit of academic coaching and philosophical counseling and executive coaching and even some tutoring as the semester finished up. I did a little bit of blogging, not quite so much as I would have liked to. As a matter of fact, that's a big disappointment of mine that I'm not getting enough of that done. Spent a lot of time doing academic writing, getting this piece on Anselm and mercy and justice in the prayers ready to go out because the deadline is looming, and it should go out actually later today. So what about, there's one other thing I need to mention too. I had a piece in Stoicism Today. As the editor, I get to every once in a while write a piece for the blog, and I started a series which I'm going to be continuing, and eventually I'm going to write a book on this, a short book to help people out. The series is on Stoic philosophers and anger. This one in particular was on Epictetus and dealing with other people's anger. I'm going to be having a follow-up coming up, which will be about dealing with your own anger, according to Epictetus. What else do I need to talk about? Well, we had a lot of video production, and a lot more video production than you saw me releasing, in part because for this new Aristotle Nicomachean Ethics class, I have shot, I would say at this point, something close to 55 or 60 new core concept videos. And those have been for the people enrolled in that class, but I'm going to be releasing them to the general public pretty soon. Half Hour Hegel, I got my 6 video quota done this month. We managed to finish up with the very first section, Observing Reason, which is great because I want to move into the next material. I did Anselm core concept videos on the Monologion. We managed to go through not every single chapter of the Monologion, but a good bit of it. I did a Dr. Sadler Responds video. It's important for me to start doing these. I had a video about Reason.io, the 5-year reunion, something that I'm was surprised by but very happy about. And then videos from those 2 talks that I mentioned, the one on Asimov, the other one on Anselm. That's what went on during the month of May. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the month of June. We're starting off with a talk in that monthly series on speculative fiction and philosophy and the world creation that the authors that we're looking at are doing. And this month we are doing Frank Herbert's Dune. And we probably will spend most of our time just on that first book, which is a dense one by itself, but I'll try to get in some talk about some of the follow-up books in the series as well. That is on June 9th at the Brookfield Public Library at 7 p.m. If you're in the area and you want to engage in a conversation about some great sci-fi and the philosophical themes involved, show up and we'll certainly take any questions or engage in any conversation then. Half Hour Hegel, we will be having our public Q&A on Wednesday the 15th, and that is at 5 p.m. Central Time. It's very important that you note the time and that we're in the Central Time Zone, because sometimes people show up at the wrong time and then they're very disappointed. That big lecture on the 8 tastes of food is going to be Wednesday, June 22nd at the Whitefish Bay Library. If you're coming to that, you want to get yourself a ticket for it because this is a very big event. We've got it linked to below. You're definitely not going to want to miss that if you're in the area. This is really one of the big events of the year. It's been a long time in planning. That is at 6:30 p.m. on the 22nd. And then if you're in the area and you would like to go to a conference on Aristotle and Aristotelianism, or if you just like to poke your head in, I'm going to be doing a talk on acrosia due to anger. How exactly does that work for the Aristotle and Aristotelianism conference here at Marquette University, downtown, just blocks from where we live? That is, my talk will actually be on the 28th of June at 3 p.m. The conference itself lasts from the 27th through the 29th. Some pretty cool people coming here to give talks. I'm going to be doing a lot of catching up with old friends and meeting some new people and engaging in a lot of really great discussion about Aristotelianism. So that's the events coming up. I do want to talk about something else that isn't happening in June, although the planning for it might be happening in June. So as I mentioned, Stoicon is happening in October, and it's going to be happening on the 15th of October in New York City. I'm going to be there doing a workshop, a 1.5-hour workshop on anger and anger management and what the Stoics have to tell us about our own anger, other people's anger, anger in the culture, how we can be less angry people. So if you're in New York City, you definitely want to come to that. And you don't just want to go to my talk, you want to go to as many of the talks in that conference as possible. I'm also going out to dinner as a fundraising thing with some of the people who are attending the conference, and they're paying some sort of premium. And then they get to, chit-chat with me afterwards about Stoicism and all sorts of other, philosophy-related things. So that's a really great idea. But here's where the rest of the picture comes in. So Stoic Week itself, International Stoic Week, is that Monday afterwards, so the 17th all the way to the next Sunday. What we like to see in Stoicism today and in the modern sort of neo-Stoic community is events worldwide. I do events wherever I happen to be. I did one here in Milwaukee last year. All sorts of, Stoic meetups will have events. And so we want to see as much of that as possible. In order to contribute to that on my part, I am going to be devoting the second half of my circuit tour to giving talks about Stoicism. What is the circuit tour? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I am going to drive from here to New York City, and I'm going to be stopping off along the way. And where I stop depends on who books me and who wants me to come and give a talk and who is willing to put me up. I'm willing to do some of the talks, depending on the institutions, for free. For some of the other institutions that actually have budgets, I would like to see some sort of compensation, a little stipend, but I'm going to try to keep that as low as possible. I am looking for people to put me up along the way so I don't have to shell out a lot for hotel rooms, because this is a circuit tour. This is a speaking tour. I am going to be putting my, acumen and services at the disposal of those who invite me in. So if it's schools, I'll talk at a school. If it's if it's a church, if it's a business organization, whatever and whoever is willing to put me up and bring me in to give a talk, I will do that along the way, all the way out there, and then all the way back. The ones on the way back are during Stoic Week, so I want it to be things that have to do with Stoicism, but I'm game for talking about other things on the way out. I'll do a video about that probably later this month to talk a bit more about it and get some information up. But I'm going to put a link below. If you're interested in this sort of thing, you can check out the link. It's going to go to our Reason.io website, where I'll have information about the circuit tour, or you can always just directly email me at greg@reasonio.com. So that's a really cool thing. We'll see whether it works or not. This is a huge experiment. If you want it to be successful, then you might consider putting in something on that. And if this works, we're going to do other circuit tours as well. We'll do one going down south. We'll do one going out west. We'll see about all sorts of other possible tours of that sort. Now, another big thing that we have coming up, of course, is the Platos Symposium class. That is beginning on the 19th of June and continuing through to the 16th of July. I'll put a link to the video below. I don't need to talk an awful lot about it. This is a not-for-credit course. It's going to be 4 weeks, 4 fairly intensive weeks. We're going to go through one of the greatest works of Western literature, one that I have been teaching for years and years and years and really, really love. You can learn more about that in the video, though. I don't need to tell you more about that in this. What else have we got going on in June? Well, I am continuing along with my executive coaching and academic coaching, some philosophical counseling. I don't foresee doing a lot of tutoring during June, but you never know. If you're interested in any of those services, go ahead and check it out on our website, or again, you can email me. I'm going to get some more blogging done this month. Definitely going to be doing some more blogging. In part because I won't be having to do quite so much video work. That the Aristotle videos really took a lot of time. Got some collaborations going on, so a few things sort of in the air right now. I'm definitely going to be doing a collaboration with Tom Ritchie, who does all sorts of cool, college prep courses. I might be doing something, depending on his schedule, with Marcus Migtow, who I've done 2 interviews with in the past. Very cool guy. I have great conversations with him. I need to follow up, so that's why it's the only thing that's not guaranteed. I'm in conversations right now with the Partially Examined Life people to begin doing some other collaborations with them that I'll tell you more about when they get a bit more solid. And I've also been working with the guys over at the Pocket Stoic app, which is a cool thing, to produce some content for them. More about that, of course, when that comes out. This month of June, I'm also going to be investing some time and work in my Curious courses. I have a lot of video content that just needs to be, have the exercises associated with it, create a few handouts to go along with it, some links to appropriate content. So you're going to be seeing some Sartre stuff come out this month, perhaps some Rilke stuff with Curious, maybe some more Plato stuff, maybe some Epictetus, maybe some Aristotle. I'm going to be loading all those things in. Now, last thing that I should talk about, video content for this month. So I mentioned that I've shot all these Aristotle core concept videos on Nicomachean Ethics, from books 1 all the way to book 10. This month, and probably the next month, and probably the next one after that, I'm going to start releasing that content. So if you didn't take the course, and you didn't see the videos in the course, you'll have access to them now. Not, of course, in the same sort of structure that the people in the course do, where it's all available in one one page, but you can follow along with them, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Got a quota of 6 more half-hour Hegel videos to put out this month. By the way, I should always say, if you want to support the sort of work that I do, one of the best ways you can do that is by becoming a Patreon supporter on the Half-Hour Hegel project, because that's one of the most intensive things that I do. And that's creating a digital resource, a comprehensive digital commentary on Hegel's phenomenology that's going to be out there for hopefully years and maybe even generations to come. Got some talk videos that we'll be recording. I'm not sure if I'll be able to record the Aristotle Marquette one, but I'll definitely be recording the 8 Tastes of Food and the Frank Herbert one. Going to do some personal videos as well because I've had some things that I've been thinking about that I really wanted to start shooting some on. And I think if I have the time, I'm going to do some more of those Dr. Sadler responds because there's a lot of issues that people keep bringing up over and over and over again. So keep an eye out, and maybe you'll see some of those. So let me close by saying, I hope you have a great month of June ahead. Summer's here, at least for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a wonderful time. Many of you are out of school, which I'm sure you're enjoying. So there's all of that. And I will finish by saying, if you want to get in touch with me about projects, collaborations, best way to do that, speaking gigs, best way to do that is to email me directly at greg@reasonio.com. So, great month ahead. Hope you have a great month, and I will interact with you in whatever forums we connect in.